Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Simtrax Broadcasting. On this fine Wednesday night, we arrive here at Southern National Motorsports Park. Another fine short track for these late model cars to get around here tonight. Yeah, the walls may be yellow, but we're going to be looking to avoid that yellow flag here all night tonight. As last race, if you guys tuned in, what a mess. It was definitely back-to-back cautions all night. Jonathan Platt, I would say, had a solid restart campaign out there as he was able to come away with the first win out there of the season. Now, during the practice that we saw once again that Curtis Yancey had done a heck of a job. Didn't really have a chance to attack out there. A lot of guys did have some trouble switching back and forth out there, whether or not they were going to be able to get any sort of a run. But it was actually the guys had come up with a plan of just running single file out there. I'm hoping we're not going to see that tonight. We want to see some battles. We want to see some door-to-door action. We've got so little track that there is plenty of opportunity for these guys to pass. But the key is also having the patience. Big engine, small tires. We got to get some heat in them, and then these guys can really wrap around this track and actually do some good out there, especially for their team. And once they start their points gathering out there to start working on this championship that these guys are desperately aiming for out there. As you can see, Jonathan Platt doing a little bit of extracurricular activities there on the infield, as right now a couple of the drivers are still working their way through the very final of their drivers meeting here tonight. Do appreciate you guys tuning in extra early, though. We are getting a quick little head start here, about a 15-minute jump. We are a little nervous here tonight if this is going to be a telltale sign that this might be a long one. I pray it's not going to be, seeing that race laps, we're still looking at under 15 seconds, so not bad. Let's go ahead and take a look at what this race is going to consist of. 150 laps. I have a single set of tires down in the pit, so it's going to be pretty tough out there. I would expect them not to do anything until they come down into pit road and see if they can square these cars away. First set of tires are going to go on most likely at the break, which should be around lap number 70. They'll come down. They'll have a little bit of time to get that car squared away, get themselves back out there, and with this being no caution laps counted, they'll have plenty of time to fight back amongst each other. Now, I do have to admit, during practice, it looks a lot better than it did last week. I know these guys are blasting around the track, trying to really work on each other, but I'll be up here as your producer and commentator. Darton Kilrow will be out there watching everything, and I know we saw a lot of big names last week, and one thing I do want to highlight is they have adjusted the incident points. I know Devin Lockridge out there in the chat knows a little bit about incident points. He has a couple of his drivers get in some trouble, but not very often. He builds awesome setups so these guys don't get in any trouble out there. But a lot of things that you see is big names. Kevin Foster was eliminated last night. Curtis Yancey was eliminated last night. I mean, huge names. Eddie Hagge got kicked out last night. Nick Nickerson, I think, barely made it. I mean, it was so close from these guys bumping and touching out there. If we are going to have a small track, I would say a short track schedule here, we're going to have late model cars. We're going to be bumping and banging each other. We need to extend those incident limit points, and I think that's exactly what this league has done. They have gone ahead and extended it. Now, there are going to be a few more drive-through penalties. Try to help curb these guys, especially when the frustration really starts raging. I know the number 5 out there, I don't believe will be returning back, as his frustration just went up and over the top. Appreciate everybody joining us here at Simtrax Broadcasting. The Bandit Racing League getting ready to kick off here in just a moment. All right, let's go ahead and get ready as these guys are getting ready to grid. This is going to be an excellent race. I would say I am excited, but I would say I'm apprehensive. Right now, I'm a little more apprehensive about how this race is going to go. We have high hopes that this is going to be a extremely clean race, and I've got to, really, honestly, I've got to say, I hope so too. I'm sure you guys are definitely saying, what the heck is going on out there? But I see out there, Surgery Steve, yep, he's getting into me now. He's going to be upset. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our starting grid here for tonight as we get ready to get these guys underway. No surprise here. Nick Nickerson and Jonathan Platt will be starting in that front row. Connor Gibson starts third next to Kevin Foster. Bill Harkins, not bad, winning last night's race during practice, sits in fifth. He'll be next to Eddie Hagge in the 97. So the McAfee Consulting getting ready to go. He'll be in front of the Harley-Davidson Bob Berry machine sitting in the 75. Ricky Hart, boy, he had a rough race last time. He was out there minding his own business. It got mangled up a little bit, and out he went. So let's see for a better start out there for the 28 machine. Moving on to David Lakey and John Osborne to round out our top 10. Ethan Sikorsky, Jason Greenwell going ahead and rounding out the top 12. As we shift to the back of the field here, let's go ahead and take a look where everybody else will be out there and kind of get this back underway. There he is, Justin Zemecki, Carter Phillips, Matt Crockett, and Logan Murray will be starting 13th through 16th. Nolan Gross, Nicole Krazel, Victor Weaver. All right, where are my Weaver fans out there? There you go. He's actually starting way here in the back, sitting 19th. Brandon Jackson in the 91 machine, sitting in 20th. And Terry Condis, we're hoping he's able to finish the race here tonight. I like seeing him show up, but I just want to see a little more longevity out of that 32 machine. All right. Guys are holding their breath here as they're getting ready to go. Hopefully taking the first green flag lap here tonight, as Nick Nickerson will be taking us away here to get this race started. Pace car lights are out, and the pace car is off the track. Here we go. Nick Nickerson. Here we go. Green flag already. Some shuffling here in spot number 3. Right now, that's going to cause some problems. As you see back here, as we float to the back of the pack, the gridlock continues. Let's get that on up. Remember, caution laps do not count here, so a little shuffle up in our tower. Have no fear, your driver's still almost exactly where they were. Unless you've got a driver like Justin Zemecki or Matt Crockett, who've already moved up a couple here. They are already shifting forward. Not bad here. Lap number 4 underway. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 all unchanged all the way back to 7th. David Lakey shifts up a spot. He's our first driver to move in the top 10. Moving on to Ricky Hart, who's falling down to 9th. Ethan Sikorsky breaks into the top 10. Not bad out there from the 94. Currently, Ethan Sikorsky feeling pretty solid here as he runs his own race team here in the late model series. Lap number 70, we're going to shut her on down and bring it to a scheduled caution, but an unscheduled caution comes out now. Unsure if Nicole Krazel is our offender here. All right, I see Surgery Steve out there saying that might want to try to avoid some of the issue out there, to avoid some of the wrecks. I have seen that actually ends up being the hotbed. Guys end up getting tangled up and beat up out there. We'll hang around this Logan Murray area. It looks like he's got some damage to the right front. We'll take a peek here at our caution here. First one of the night. Take a look at the 4 machine. Whoa! Our 83 machine of Jason Greenwell. I took a ride along with him earlier during practice, and this guy was definitely loose on turn exit, and I wonder if that's what got him here. It seems he's following behind, comes down on Matt Crockett, and around he goes. Looks like no worse for the wear except for the 4 of Logan Murray. He gets the worst of it, meets the barrels. Appreciate all the Weaver fans out here. Got a ton of them. Guys are definitely chatting it up. Appreciate you guys coming in as the season is just getting started. Race number 2 here tonight. Last week was at Hickory Barbecue 150. We're at the Southern National Showdown 150 here tonight. As we get ready to get these guys going again. Right now, I think, Logan Murray's trying to find his way into pits. Probably try to see if he can get that thing fixed up. There it is. We'll fix up there in the front. I believe 1 fast repair for these gentlemen for the entire night. So very, very quick he needs to be. Pace car is off the racing surface. And I think to avoid some of the restart issues that we had last week, we are going to push around for 1 lap. You see the green flag does come out. and we are going to hold until we get all the way back around. Once they reach the line or the restart zone, they're going to go. Ready to get back underway here. Terry Condis did not take behind the wheel here as we get back under green. Boy, getting hung out there on the outside is Kevin Foster. He is able to hold his own, though. Needs to break down toward the bottom. He wants to hang in there. Currently, that is Bill Harkins. He's battling still next to Eddie Hagge here. Hagge holding on the outside in the 97 machine. Let's see if he crosses over. No can do. Not going to be able to do it. And all back, Bob Barry taking a look to the outside where the 84 sits of David Lakey. Lakey wants to push on around. I was talking to Lakey a little bit earlier here before the season got kicked off when he held down his own league out there to make sure he kept the Bandit Racing League club together. He said he wanted to make sure he was aggressive out here on the track. Definitely make a name for himself. He wants to be aggressive, but not so aggressive. He's causing a boatload of caution. So right now, the 84 machine, David Lakey has shifted up from 9th to 8th so far, still unchanged in our top 7. Right now, Connor Gibson is playing tag-along here. And not getting any directions out there from Jonathan Platt. Right now, Connor Gibson off to a solid start here. Feeling very strong to start this season. Number 13 about to round up here. Across the line, all Nickerson's race. Does not seem to be changing his strategy at all here. Matt Crockett back here in 12th. Remember, the driver came down into him. But he seems no worse for the wear. Currently sitting in 12th, that's up 3. And I'm showing Brandon Jackson a little bit of blinking back here around the Nolan Gross area. It is not him that's actually blinking. Currently got the O2 machine. So Brandon Jackson from 20th up to 15th. Round of applause for that guy. He is definitely on the move. Big name you don't see out here tonight, Curtis Yancey in the 51. Currently I know his job holds him back and forth here and there. Be unable to get out here each and every week. Currently, Jason Greenwell out there. I believe that is the Nerds machine. A little unusual from his black and yellow stripe. Or the blue and yellow stripe car for the 83. I see anybody trying to take a peek. I think right now I saw David Lakey, I think, getting a little work done here. As we add 10 positions, currently sitting in 10th where Ethan Sikorsky is. The 94 taking a look at the 84 on the outside. Let's stay with him here. Sikorsky here to the inside with the blinking David Lakey to the outside. Tough move here. And right now, Ethan Sikorsky's got to maintain a solid line. Look how close they're getting. Good action here by these two, really working hard to find their way up to the front. Here's Ethan Sikorsky, and he's got it. Trying to make a quick dive in was Justin Zemecki at the same time, trying to see if he could strike while the iron was hot. And unfortunately, ends up getting a little mixed up here. Zemecki has gained 2 and is looking really, really out of sorts here. Whoa, okay, who just ate the wall? I think that was John Osborne in the 11. Car went to the inside and then ricocheted off, smacked up into the wall. So Osborne currently on the roll backwards here. This is not the way he wants to be going. Trying their best to see if they can get back out there. Action Jackson, yes it is. He's got a couple shuffle-throughs out here on the tower. No way, everything mixes up a little bit. When we're not counting cautions, everything gets shuffled a good bit out there. Only 2 drivers have come down into pit road here tonight. Jason Greenwell came down lap number 1. Lap number 2 went to Logan Murray. Incorrect. Lap number 7 is when Jason Greenwell came down. Lap number 8 is when Logan Murray came down for his second visit. Yes, it is. That is Action Jackson out there on the track. Currently sitting 14th. That's now 6th. Currently he's following behind Nolan Gross, who's really been trucking along here. Nolan Gross doing a heck of a job out there. Right now he's keeping that nose clean on that race car. I do see a little bit of shuffling up front here. Currently battle for third, Connor Gibson and Kevin Foster. Foster finally finding the seam here underneath the 31. Finally, right now, the 31 getting a little nervous here, seeing what exactly that number 8's looking to do. Kevin Foster is diving in really hot into these turns, but he's got some decent turn exit speed. Fortunately, Connor Gibson looks like he battles that back. Kevin Foster not going to have anything for him here. We'll stick along here with Connor Gibson here for the moment. As the tires are well seated in here, getting halfway through lap number 32. Currently Nickerson getting a solid lead out front, 0.3 of a second, and then we roll back an entire second to find Connor Gibson. Wonder if Kevin Foster is starting to think Connor Gibson is starting to become a hold up here, kind of a roadblock. Right now he wants to move past him as we go ahead and set Nicole Krazel from Lady Chaos Racing, currently in the number 6 car, sitting 20th, goes down a lap. So we already have a little bit of lap traffic as the first driver to go down a lap here. Currently I believe Victor Weaver is very close to heading the lap down. Nickerson is right behind him. Currently we sit on top of Nick Nickerson's car. Caution does come out. Bill Harkins seems to be our offender this time. Around he goes. There you go. That's how you snap a late model around. You can tell Bill Harkins has driven these. We were kind of seesawing with a couple of these guys last week. You want to rev it up, sidestep the clutch, and spin her on around. Robin Allen going to feel pretty good. So is Surgery Steve. Pretty happy that Victor Weaver was able to avoid going a lap down. Yeah, I said it, going a lap down. He was very, very close there. Let's take a look and see what happened. The number 12 here. And whoop, just walked it on around. Sometimes that happens if a driver doesn't overdrive the turn, overheats the tires. And then the tires don't have an ample amount of time to cool down, and that just comes from a couple of bad turns. If he had something happen about 5 to 6 laps ago where he was battling with another driver or overheated the tires, that just ended up sending him the rest of the way around. So Bill Harkins not getting the traction he needed there. So it goes ahead and brings out our second caution here of the night. No announcer's curse. We did all right. We did all right. Victor Weaver's going to be in good shape. As I see out there, Surgery Steve saying saved by the bell. I would say saved by the flag. That should be A-OK. So the GFR Racing team out there, Nick Nickerson, Ricky Hart, and Kevin Foster. Nickerson still leading this one. Foster sitting down in 4th. Ricky Hart sitting in 6th. Not bad for all the drivers in the top 8. So this should be good so far. Ricky Hart has gained 3. Not bad. Get ready to double stack these guys. And don't fear. Green flag does show out. We go around one more time as the pace car ducks on off. All right, Robin Allen is asking where the rest of the usuals are. Go ahead and give me a little more context there. If you're looking for Mark Allen Bivens, unknown. Brett Guzik, he was out here last week. I don't know where the 04 is tonight. He's not currently here. Curtis Yancey, I believe, is caught up at work as a police officer. And And actually surprised to see, honestly, surprised to see Nick Nickerson here. I knew he is actually participating as a part-time driver. So we're going to shuffle the field here. Remember, we did not square that up. So right now, showing Nickerson sitting in 16th right now. It'll shuffle him here. There it goes. Because caution laps do not count. So as we've broken over halfway before we come to the end of the stage, go ahead and kind of crunch down, see how these guys are doing. Nicole Krazel still a lap down, though. Let's check back here, where I see Ricky Hart is under fire here by Eddie Hagge. Hagge looking to the inside. Hagge hasn't gained a position yet tonight. He's looking for his first one. Very gutsy to take on Ricky Hart, who's gained 3, may only be 2, because it looks like Hagge's got him here. Good pivot to the inside. Hagge doesn't have it yet. He's got to get a little bit hotter into this turn here. Hagge looking to see if he can get a spotter to tell him where he is on the outside. That way Hagge can move up and get a longer sweeping turn in, but it's going to be a little too late. 28 car of Ricky Hart fends off Eddie Hagge for the 5th position. Action Jackson moving up half the field. Started 20th, now sitting top 10. Has an opportunity to see if he can get it going. Robin Allen challenging out there to Surgery Steve when Victor Weaver's going to start making the move. Currently, Victor Weaver has gained 7. He's now to 12th. I see a little jam up here in the back. Looked like something happened to David Lakey. Shuffle up happened back here where Brandon Jackson currently sits in front of Lakey. Saw cars getting 3 wide here in the back, so we're going to kind of hover around about that 10th position, all the way back to where Jason Greenwell is sitting back in 13th. There goes Osborne to the outside, making a full clear. 91 to Brandon Jackson, gains 11 now. Early, that guy is still rolling. That is quite impressive here by Brandon Jackson, especially horrible qualified. Starting in the back, I don't believe he qualified at all. Brandon Jackson getting up there. Guys, if you're thinking about doing some of this, there's nothing stopping you other than airing opportunity. Get out here to the Bandit Racing League, get in one of these late models and let her rip. It does take some finesse out there to race these cars. A whole lot of throttle control. You got to make sure you feel that wheel. It is pretty solid. As I'm currently saying that, it looks like we may not be under caution. Carter Phillips gets the nasty. Take a look at that. It looks like he gets boxed out here. Bill just barely ticks him, but that does not cause the problem. He actually gets in the back of Matt Crockett. So no caution will come out for that. Matt Crockett actually coming down pit road, black flag. So he serves his first drive-through here of the night. Boy, there's one thing I would not want to be as a lap down at a short track. That is going to be just about impossible for the 15-2 recover. Very, very difficult here. We wonder if Matt Crockett would consider coming down into pit, putting 4 tires and fuel in, and seeing if he can go ahead and stay out on the track. But trying to put 4 tires on a green flag, boy, that's about suicide out there. All right, there we go. Currently sticking with it here. Brandon Jackson is now up 12, so of course he's gained 5th. Hagge falls back 7th. Let's see if he can hang in there. Remember, Eddie Hagge was battling up there with Ricky Hart for 5th. And unfortunately, it seems he may have stumbled, and Ethan Sikorsky has gotten around him. Yeah, Robin Allen saying making a move any day now. Yeah, it's definitely short track. You've got to stay active. Very hard to fight from behind. especially when you were just battling, is not going to just come back to you, and opportunities start getting very, very slim. Let's check back up here, where I currently see Connor Gibson here to the outside. There's some lap traffic. The 28 here of Ricky Hart taking a peek to the inside. Currently, I believe that is Ethan Sikorsky sitting directly behind them, looking to see where that solid move's going to be. Sitting on board here with Ethan Sikorsky. Currently, his 94 car looking here to the inside. Good slider. And it looks like Ricky Hart's going to go ahead and secure fourth. Not bad. That does put all of our drivers here from the GFR team into the top 5. As caution does come out here. John Osborne looking like he's playing public enemy number 1 here. I want to be very careful out there. He did look like he hooked the driver, but I wasn't sure. Let's take a look here from the backside. Come up on Nicole Crazel. There's a little blink. And John Gunn goes right up into him there from this angle. Yeah, it's hard to tell. You can see if we can give it another look here. Look, yeah, it looks like he is trying to give Nicole Crazel a little bit of room. Wow. All right, so Nicole Crazel actually stays out of trouble here. Not saying she was in trouble, just was out of trouble, but was right there next to it. So, caution laps do not count. We should still have 10 laps till our stage. And drivers will be getting out there ready to duke it out once again. Dalton Kilroe doing his best, being very active. iRacing has thrown all cautions here tonight. Go. Back under green. Competition is underway. Nickerson still on a roll here. Both the Perfect Shine Auto Spa cars. The number 2 and the number 8. Boy, that's got to be exciting for them. Last season we had them as our caution sponsor. And some races they earn their money's worth. Here we go. Boy, Nickerson just barely here. Right now, Jonathan Platt making a bid for win number 2. He's still got a long way to go before he gets there. Nickerson being very tough. There you go. Knock the side of his car a little bit. Bump him down toward the bottom. Yeah, that actually is a little bit of a strategy move here by the 43. You push Nickerson down, he can't dive into the turn as easily. Jonathan Platt losing a little bit of position here, and boy, he barely swipes him. Almost clips the back end of him, but caution comes out. Eddie Haggy involved. And so is the number 30 of Carter Phillips. We'll keep an eye on Carter Phillips out there. I don't know if he will be suffering a drive-through under green. He's been in a few of them here. Although our 4th caution here of the night, 10 times cleaner than last week. Let's take a look. Oop, Lakey. Oh, man. So Lakey spins Eddie Haggy around, and it looks like Victor Weaver never hits the brakes there and might be pushing Carter Phillips on around. Let's take a look at the 18. His caution is already out. 30 hit, hard on the brakes, 18 still trying to send it here. Yep, and ends up pushing him around, so they'll go ahead and put another 4X on that car. Now keep in mind, now remember guys, we are going to have drive-through here's tonight if they can't keep it clean. 36 incident points are allowed once they get 18, their first drive-through, and then every 5 points after that. Last week, I believe it was 24X, or 24 incident points were allowed. They have extended that at least another 12, so they have at least a couple more opportunities to try to keep it as clean as possible. Don't get me wrong, they know short track racing, they're going to be banging each other. I mean, look at Eddie Haggy. He's got some damage right there on that left side, and even next to our logo. He's getting banged up a good bit there. So, you see Victor Weaver, some damage there to the right front fender. Alrighty. I would highly recommend in short track racing, top 5 is the safest place to be. Here we go. Getting us back underway. Jonathan Platt had ended up collecting the lead here, and he's gone. Very quick for Jonathan Platt. Fantastic start here. He may end up taking the stage. Nickerson's going to try to run him down, though. Foster makes a solid block here on Brandon Jackson, who's gained 16 on the night. Mind-blowing right now. Still rolling on through. Platt leading it here. Lap number 70 underway. Top 10 make it through. That is going to be our competition caution. Whew. All right, we made it. 4 cautions here. Competition caution does come out. Drivers have the opportunity to come down, take a fast repair, fix their car up, put tires on it, obviously fill it full of fuel. Since they are at a 100% fuel limit, we'll have to weigh their options and see whether or not they are going to put fuel in it. I would say fast repairs, if they are thinking long term, they are not going to pit. Did somebody spin out here? I think somebody spun out heading into pit road. Looks like Zemecki is off to the side here. So drivers coming in, getting the only set of tires that they have, and they'll be heading back on out. Like I said, definitely a messy one here. We'll see if we get a couple of guys out here that might have an opportunity to talk with us out there. Jonathan Platt has been doing a heck of a job charging up to the front. He's been up front this whole time. He started second here on the night, had led a few laps there, which is fortunate. So, but man, the lead, the most laps, though, does go to Nick Nickerson. He led a ton. Led just about every lap in that one. So we'll get back to a few of these guys back here. I do want to have a chance to see if I can talk to, let me see if I can find Justin Zemecki here. Justin, you got a copy on me here, buddy?
No, do not move.
Do not move. What? Oh, man. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and leave him alone. I don't know if he's fighting something in that car, seeing if he can get something shifted around. I was trying to see how his race has been going here tonight. But maybe we'll find Ricky Hart. We'll see if we can find the 28 car. Ricky, you got a copy on me here, buddy?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Dude, all right. Well, this race is a lot cleaner than last week. Would you agree?
Yeah. Last week was a mess. It was fun. So I got knocked out a little early. You know, it happens. Yeah, this is good. It's been fun driving with these guys running up through the field.
Yeah, I would say green flag racing, this is going well. I would say some of the cautions that we have seen, man, it's just guys getting loose. Somebody touched a little too close. It happens. Nothing seems like a blatant accident here. When we come up to the stage here, what we're seeing, you guys are putting tires on. Everybody's kind of getting settled in a little bit. Let's talk about the second half here. What is Ricky Hart going to do here for the second half?
I'm going to try to stay up there in the front for as long as I can and maybe try to maintain tires. I don't know what Brandon was doing, but that man was rolling the center. Nice. He was coming quick.
Yeah.
So whatever he's doing, I'm going to try to copy that and hopefully get to the end of the race in, one piece and stay up front.
Yeah, well, been very hard. All 5 drivers from the GFR Racing team are sitting currently in the top 5. You guys got to be feeling pretty confident that you guys are really taking a command of this race. But but when you got guys like Jonathan Platt and like you said, you've got Brandon Jackson in there, how do you fend these guys off to make this a 1-2-3 finish? Maybe. Uh-oh. I think Ricky got tangled up in there. Oh, man. Well, I think Ricky's getting tangled up. I don't know if they're getting ready to put these guys back out onto the track. They are currently running up on the 4-minute mark, and RC might be going ahead and chirping out there that they need to go ahead and talk to them here in just a moment. I currently see Ethan Sikorsky going ahead and having a chat with Dalton Kilroe toward the top, and this has been a rough race here for some, but I do want to see if I can grab a hold of the 97 machine out there. Eddie Haggy, what a race here, buddy.
Yeah, man.
All right. Tons of stuff happening out there on the track. I would say some good, some bad. We got a little damage to the car. What are we going to do?
Well, this break was pretty lucky. I had about 6.5 or 7 minutes of damage, so we get 5 of that done and might get it all fixed by the time we all pull off. So fortunate timing if you're going to crash, but yeah, man, it's tough to pass. I'm trying to save my tires, see if I can pass them all at the end, but we need another caution.
Yeah, Brandon Jackson has been on a roll. I know he started behind you and went on past. What are you noticing is going on with his race car?
Well, I think he saved his stuff pretty good because normally Brandon drives pretty hard, and this is a lot of laps on one set of tires to drive really hard. So he'll definitely be a guy to beat now that he's got the car under him.
All right, your team down there with CPR. I mean, Jason Greenwell and Carter Phillips. Well, I mean, what's the plan for your team to march up front?
Well, I think that first stage was pretty calm. I'm sure it's going to get way more hectic as we get towards the end of the race. Just survive the carnage. Don't get a drive through. Don't hit that incident limit. And then make a charge at the end, hopefully.
All right, Eddie Haggy, be safe out there, buddy.
All right, buddy. Take it easy.
All right, everybody. That is Eddie Haggy there in the 97 machine. And hopefully we'll get something going. It looks like Jonathan Platt is getting ready to pull back off and head back out there onto the track. So that means Platt, Nickerson, Foster. So these guys are going to be called out by their car number and head back out onto the track and get going here. Do want to take this time and go ahead and mention, I appreciate you guys joining us here at Simtrax Broadcasting. We're bringing you the Bandit Racing League here tonight with some late model racing. Brandon Jackson is the man everybody's had their eyes on. He's trying to figure out what that 91 car is doing. Now, everything seemed pretty good except the 91. Didn't get the memo there. That's definitely because they have, he was MIA for the last race. So they are still shuffling it up. I'm sure we'll have this all knocked down and squared away here in the next couple of races, though. I do wish I would have had the chance to talk to Zemecki here. Would love to get a little insight on what the heck happened there right before pits. David Lakey going to be working on cleaning up his internet a little bit there. Maybe close down some of those windows there in the back. Victor Weaver hanging out here. See if we can get a little speed underneath the race car and get back underway. So pace car heading on around. We'll wait and see if Jonathan Platt follows, and he does. Platt on the way around. We're going to take this moment, give you guys just a second, and we'll be right back here and bring you the race back under green. All right, guys, looks like pace car lights are off, heading off the track here. And we should be under green here in just a moment. Appreciate you guys hanging in there. I checked you guys out there in the chat. I was going to say, everybody's family in pit road and before the race, but during, that's pretty tough. All right, so that's the hint that we get ready to go. 80 laps to go here in this bout. Jonathan Platt will be taking us to the start. Action Jackson sitting back here in third. Way to the outside. 28 machine. We talked to Ricky Hart. He's going to have a different plan to run this second half. We'll see how many people decide to press a little bit harder. Let's get going. Start here so far. Let's get a little farther out. Wow. I didn't say satellite view. Out over top, taking a look here at the race. Everybody mashing up. Looks like we got a good stack up there around the Bob Berry area. I don't think it was Bob, though. Actually, it should have been happening in front of it. Apparently, I think that was John Osborne having to back the turn way up. If you guys tuned in last week, you see any kind of backing up at the turn ends up becoming a problem. Look who's on the outside here. Brandon Jackson continuing to move up. This guy cannot be stopped here. Brandon Jackson to the outside. Now starting to push Jonathan Platt. Whatever the 91 car is doing, exactly like they said, he has got some strong power through the middle of the turn. 17 positions gained here so far. Caution is out. Nolan Gross is around. There we go. Kelly Queel joining us here tonight. Kevin Foster's been having a good night here so far. Qualified fourth, gotten fourth. He has been higher position tonight. So we'll take a look and see what happened to Nolan Gross here. Boy, unfortunately loops him around. 84, yep. Let's see if we can find something that kind of signifies who came up into who. Not good for Nolan Gross there. That's going to set him back here in the 18th position. See Robin Allen out there saying they are all for Victor Weaver out there in the chat. I'm sure Kelly Queel can round up a few Kevin Foster fans. I have not seen Margot use it yet. Root on Brett. We'll see as this one gets ready to go here. Nick Nickerson, what do you do? Jonathan Platt fighting his way, waited his time, got that position. Now he's going to try to hold on to it and go back to back here. Alrighty, back under green we go. Showing Justin Zemecki having to serve a black flag here. Looks like a drive-through penalty for the 03. See if any incident points cause that. A little bump and run there between a couple of drivers, causing some trouble. Let's take a look at our lead here. Nickerson taking a look to the outside. Haven't seen a whole lot of guys successful from the outside here, but Nickerson's going to give it a go. Currently, Brandon Jackson sees this as a toss-up pitch here for second, and he unfortunately spins it out. Gets into the marbles there. Loses a ton of traction and falls back now to fourth. Now he's got to get back up there and challenge Kevin Foster yet again. Good racing here so far. Look at the 91 pushing the 28, saying he wanted to follow right in his footsteps. Ricky Hart going to do just that. Here we are with Ricky Hart. Going ahead there, banging it off the rev limiter. As they head on into the turn, currently looks like Nickerson's in trouble. Ricky Hart gets bumped around. 31 makes the pass before the caution comes out. Whoop, Nicole, slow down. Look like there's some trouble here in the backfield. See if this puts Zemecki back on the lead lap here. Yeah, Bill just gives a little nudge to the 97 there. Fortunately, Eddie Hagge able to just go ahead and straighten it up. No damage to the wall there, so that works as a positive for the 97. Robin Allen definitely hoping that Victor Weaver's going to start stepping on the gas here. Only up a couple of positions, gained 3 total on the night. He's now up to 16th. His time is quickly ticking away for him here. Right now, man on the move is Brandon Jackson still. This will give him a chance to cool his tires down after overheating them. Drivers get sideways a little bit like that, get down in the marbles. Ends up overheating the tires, so chill him out just a little bit there. Take his time around this track. Then they'll get ready to double file and get going again here. Racing is getting better. We are getting ready to nudge up against the half mark of cautions that we had last week. I believe 16 was our total last week. Cars off. Jonathan Platt and Nick Nickerson. Here we go again. There's that rubber build up, starting to get real up there close to the wall. He's creeping down that very, very outside lane. See if that causes any problems. Nickerson slaps it around the turn there. What a turn exit hit for him. Nickerson needing to grab a hold of the lead here pretty soon. Osborne moves from 10th to 9th, makes a quick pass. Greenwell takes it back. It's currently sitting down here in that 10th spot. So the Nerves machine is having trouble keeping Osborne behind him here. Osborne still pressing. Brandon Jackson looking for that seam again, outside line. Trying to use a little bit of that draft. Cut some of that wind off the nose. Using Jonathan Platt's car. He's going to have him here. Brandon Jackson showing how that outside line works, and it does. Gets right in behind our leader. Almost bumps him here. Brandon Jackson, awesome job. We're going to hang out with him. Nudges Jonathan Platt. Platt now out of the way. 91 car gets a solid nudge here. Look at the 31 dive bombing into that turn. Holy cow. Right now, if you're Ricky Hart, he's ready to jump out of the car and beat him with his helmet. I wouldn't be doing that. Brandon Jackson is somehow around. caution's out. Let's see what happens. I think Miss Crazel's a little too far back here, but she might be running up on who our offender is. Yeah, it looks like the 30 machine at Carter Phillips. So that's actually the cause of our caution here. Nudge to Osborne. Osborne on the outside. Nolan Gross collects him. What's really crazy is to stick with Brandon Jackson here. I'll let you guys draw to that. Yeah, Surgery Steve saying Platt barely held to that, but I see Brandon Jackson gets a little nudge here when the caution comes out, so we'll see if anything comes of this. Currently showing Kevin Foster in that front position. I don't believe that is so. Uh-oh. Yeah, I know you guys are probably thinking what I am. We're not going to draw any conclusions, though. You guys can do that out there. In your minds, not in the chat. But civil. We definitely know there's a little beef going on out there. The 91 and the 43. I will say, I don't think the 91 meant to tap Platt, but remember, we are back to short track racing. I mean, there's going to be some dooring here. There's going to be some nudging. There's going to be some bumping. It's totally legal. The key is, what's not legal is fully sending it. So, all right, here we go. Great jump there by Platt. Platt looks like he then spins the tires, trying to shift into the next gear. Brandon Jackson's now going to leave him. Foster's on it. Platt now back to third. Nickerson's wondering what happened to the 43. Hey, here we go. Mama Goose is back. Appreciate you joining us here. I see Brett is not here, so maybe after we'll get him back out here onto the track. This has been a heck of a race here. Everything looking pretty good so far. Let's get back underway. Currently, Brandon Jackson still leading this one. Caution back out. I believe Jonathan Osborne in this one. See if there's any retribution here. Because remember, back with Osborne, there was some trouble back there between him and Nolan Gross. What the heck just happened? So, okay, Jonathan Osborne gets into the turn here with the 18 of Victor Weaver. So a bunch of Victor Weaver fans try to keep open-minded here. 18 comes in front and looks like he has to check up a little bit, but the 11 is rolling the turn to the inside, which then straightens him up and then hooks himself. All right. Now Jonathan Osborne getting the worst of this here. Down pit road he is. Looks like 30 seconds sitting in the box. I don't know if he's trying to fix up some of this damage here. As, Jonathan Osborne might be taking it back to the trailer here. Somebody out there saying, don't wreck yourself when you're wrecking someone else. Yeah, Robin Allen. Okay. You're wondering how we are, how the Bandit Racing League has come back up, or has reactivated. Yeah, because if that is what you're asking, yeah, if that's what you're asking, this actually, David Lakey had actually had an intermediate league. I would say a real league, or a league on the outside called the BRRL League. And these guys got back together. And Bill Harkins has always had the keys hanging from a key ring here, just telling, if you want to take over, guys, somebody take over. Well, the guy in the number 8 car, Kevin Foster, has decided to go ahead and take the keys to the league and says, we'll get her restarted again. And Kevin Foster is the one to kind of thank for this one, to bring this all back together. Him and a group of admins have really worked together to put these guys back on the track. Oddly enough, that you see how many drivers have returned. They have come back. I would say almost the closure there from season 14 to 15 weeded out some of our sour apples. So the bushel is now fresh. We got drivers back out here, happy and ready to race against each other. No quarrels even last time. So depending on what era you come from, this could be a Blues Brothers reference to let's get the band back together. Or this could be like school rock. It's like the band, and try to get the band back together. And then everybody go back to business as usual. So everything looking solid here. We are back under green. Everybody says that is good. I think everybody should ask Kelly Queel out there. We'll see what she's got to say. All right. Brandon Jackson leading this race. Jonathan Platt sitting second. Kevin Foster is third. Connor Gibson rounds out the 4th place. And the 5th place is going to be Ricky Hart. Moving on, Nick Nickerson. He's fallen down to 6th. David Lakey 7th. Bob Berry 8th. Justin Zemecki sitting 9th. That's even after a drive-through. And Bill Harkins rounding out our top 10. And remember, he was even involved in a caution at the beginning. So far, so good. Everybody's staying pretty much single-filed out. I would say Jonathan Platt is really starting to work on Brandon Jackson here. Doesn't want to jump too soon, but I think that 43 car is trying to loosen him up. Right now, notice he is the only one who can touch him here. Kevin Foster's doing an awesome job. But he's got to come up with almost 0.6 of a second, and it is growing. Almost wonder if, Brandon, if Platt is actually doubted what his car can do, seeing what the 91 has done slinging around him here. All right, lap traffic going to come into play here in just a little bit. Cole Crazel's starting to see him creep up here. There's our leader. Love to know if Nickerson has some sort of plan here. Ricky Hart trying to get up there. Getting to the inside of Connor Gibson. We rode along with Ricky Hart there. Looked like he got some contact. And was unable to get around. Ooh, shot for the lead here. 43 machine going to see if he can use Nicole Crazel as his pick. That'd be an excellent setup here for the 43. Jonathan Platt, I guarantee, is going to hammer him. Slips up just a little bit. Is that going to cost him? Currently, right now, Brandon Jackson, trying to get it. He tried to use Nicole Crazel as a pick, and Jackson knew what to do. Slides down in front of him, nicks that 43. And Brandon Jackson trying to scurry away here. They're catching up now on Carter Phillips in the number 30. That is the 16th place driver. Carter Phillips about to head his first lap down here for the night. Boy, Jonathan Platt kind of going to pat the 30 on the back there for holding him up just a hair. That's going to put him right back within 0.2 of a second. Being able to try to retake him. Kevin Foster trying to get around safely. Still okay for the 30 to race his lap. Not okay to impede. And with 30 laps left to go, all you Victor Weaver fans better be hoping for a miracle. Currently he's up to 15th. He's next to be on the lap list. If he's not careful, that's him crossing the line here. Brandon Jackson's now crossing the line. Currently 14-second laps. That does leave Victor Weaver only 3 seconds ahead. Right now, I know we do try to concentrate on a good chunk of the field here. Currently, I'm watching Jonathan Platt and Brandon Jackson. Something's going to happen here. Right now, Platt might think he's been done wrong here. And Platt's starting to apply some pressure. Glad to see the 43 come back. We haven't had some intensity like this in a while. Glad you guys joined us back at the Bandit Racing League. You were currently riding along with Brandon Jackson in the 91. 43 of Jonathan Platt, exactly where he qualified, but he wants to get this lead. He wants to get it here pretty soon. 25 to go. Boy, good roll out of that turn. That buys him a little bit of space. Currently, look how he's exiting that turn so much earlier. Ooh, Platt, good roll to the inside. Boy, every once in a while you get just a little extra there. As currently Victor Weaver, you see toward the top here. He is all over the track. I don't know if his car is getting loose on him here. He's way to the outside. And right now, Platt going to try to do it again. Inside. Inside line here for Platt. Excellent move. Let's take a look. No, can do. Platt having a setback. Shuffling back and forth. Rest of the field sitting back by about 1/4 of a second off of each other. Bob Berry is getting pretty close with Zemecki. I think Platt might have overheated the tires here. Something's not looking right. All right, so they make a solid pass as Victor Weaver goes down a lap here. Caution is out. Well, didn't get saved by the flag this time. Unsure on this. I don't know if I've got trouble here with Matt Crockett. Everything's solid there. Yeah, Robin Allen's hoping there's a lucky dog. We'll keep you on tabs on that. Trying to see where our biggest guy is here, who ended up getting in some trouble. Thought maybe Jason Greenwell. I'm trying to double check here on the 83. Something up here with Zemecki and Bob Berry. Whoop. Zemecki blinked out. Okay, so there's one of them. There's the 03. Let's take a look. I don't know if Zemecki dive bombed that one there a little bit. All right, Bob Berry went into the pits. So did Eddie Hagge. He's been down there for almost 42 seconds. Hopefully he's going to be able to fix a little more of that damage, get back out. Could probably use some help there. I know any kind of damage affect the steering. Definitely don't want to cause any more problems. I'm still saying this is the front row. This is going to be the one to watch here. These guys are getting ready to do battle again. We'll see as this comes back out. I think they're going to give Zemecki another drive-through here. So insult to injury for the 03. And I'm showing currently Victor Weaver is still going to remain a lap down here. All right, green flag is back out. Take a look at Platt here. Platt shuffles up, gets to the inside of the 91. Currently, remember, they are on their last set of tires here. As Kevin Foster following closely behind. Currently, he's got a battle happening behind him there. That is currently Ricky Hart and Nick Nickerson. Don't want to mess these guys up, all three of them on the same team here. They are doing battle like they are not Perfect Shine Auto Spa machines. Number 8 and the number 2 getting ready to line up here. Sitting 3 and 4. Ricky Hart sitting in that 5th spot. Great job here. Platt trying to stay within striking distance. I would say he just needs to tick off a couple laps, about 5 laps, consistent of his original race times. And he should have him here. Caution has come back out. Logan Murray. Stalled out here. Does not show any signs of life. There we go. Check to see if that number 4 is damaged beyond all repair. Caution starting to rack up here. See the 83 and Bill Harkins get into it. Oof. Look at Nolan Gross floss through there. Victor Weaver sends it. Somebody hinted to him. Somebody told Victor Weaver, just hold to the floor, buddy. He did just that. We'll see if this causes a drive-through for him. Riding on Victor Weaver, take a look. Bill Harkins slides to the side, clips. Who was that? Carter Phillips in the 30. Watch Carter Phillips' view on this. He turns into his own personal frisbee here. Here's the bump. Dang, a bunch of drivers heading down pit road. Showing black flags for at least 6. One of them is a must repair flag, where Logan Murray in the 4 falls in that category. All right, looks like Rebecca out there. Hey! Awesome. Thanks for joining us here. Sergio Steve asking if he's got the repair. Something tells me that Logan Murray has used that repair once already. Victor Weaver. All you Weaver fans out there, he is taking it back to the trailer. Oh, Platt. Platt, a little bump and run here on the 91. Yeah, guarantee there's going to be some nudging here. The 91 getting loose. 43 applying pressure. 10 laps left to go. Here it is, door to door. Currently, Platt trying to hold on to that spot here. Here comes Foster and Nickerson. They need to fill the void here. Sitting on top with Nickerson as Platt takes over. Watch and see if the 91 gives him a nudge. Platt with the clean air out front. He's going to be able to get a launch. If Brandon Jackson wishes to re-attack and get back to the front, he's got to be patient. Go ahead and tick a couple of laps off. Follow Platt on through these turns. Get back to the basics. Platt now starting to extend his lead. 0.4 of a second. Caution comes out. Then we may have headset throwing here. Zemecki down into pits. David Lakey down into pits. Black flag. All right, David Lakey serves his drive-through, trying to safely get back onto the track here. He's going to merge in right in front of Eddie Hagge, who's currently sitting in 7th. So we've got 4 laps left to go. It looks all but over. Currently running up on some lap traffic. I see Bill Harkins and Nicole Krazel side by side up front. Platt plays his cards right. He won't catch them. That does not seem to be the case. He's slowly creeping in on him here. Let's check back on Jason Greenwell. Greenwell and Bob Berry going at it here. This is currently the battle for 8th. Berry wants that spot, though. Jackson half a second behind, so we move off the lead. Trying to stay in it here. Kevin Foster holding on to 3rd. White flag is out. 1 lap left to go. Jonathan Platt half a lap away from his 2nd win here of the season. Here he comes to the line. Fantastic job. Nickerson slides into pits here. He'll be finishing in 7th. Boy, he's going to be cursing somebody. What happened here to Nick Nickerson? Tell me this isn't teammate assisted. Oh, no. So Foster's his teammate that was in front. Ricky Hart is his teammate from behind. Gets the business. Yuck. So Kevin Foster finishing in 3rd. Not bad. Goes ahead and hangs in there. Great job here. So Jonathan Platt back to back. So he does it. Awesome job here by Jonathan Platt. Connor Gibson getting a top 5. Brandon Jackson finishing in 2nd. I wonder if I should put these two together. Because right now I'm sure they got a few words to say to each other. All right. Awesome job here. Let's go ahead and take a look at our results here for the night. These are still unofficial. They'll go ahead and be reviewed after this. Half a second win over top of Brandon Jackson. Kevin Foster sits 3rd. Ricky Hart Jr. there in the 4th position. Connor Gibson sits 5th. Eddie Hagge, not bad, moves up to the 6th position. That is awesome job. He at least gets back to his qualifying position after Eddie Hagge had been tumbling around all night. Jason Greenwell up to 7th. Bob Berry gaining 4 to go ahead and finish in 8th. Nolan Gross is showing in 9th. Bill Harkins in 10th. So we will wobble around that just a little bit there, and we'll kind of hammer that down. We'll have a talk with Jonathan Platt here, especially with these last lap runouts there, and we'll definitely bring you guys up to speed with what exactly these guys did, because it was a definite run out there. Hold on just a moment. We'll be right on back. All righty, everybody. Finally catching up with our third place finisher here, Kevin Foster. Well, qualified fourth, finished third. Not bad. Tough night here tonight all around. I would say a lot cleaner than last race, but boy, oh boy, was there some door-to-door action.
Southern National, man, this track, it's a little bull ring, but I mean, the setup, everything, yes. It's definitely, low line dominant here, but you can get on the outside of someone, you can pass on the outside, you just got to pinch them down, and man, it was exciting racing. I hope all the fans enjoyed it, and man, I am thrilled that it was a much better race than last week, and I just can't thank everyone enough.
Okay, I would say let's take a look at this from a 5,000-foot perspective. What changed the race to kind of clean up some of these cautions here tonight?
Well, on the restart, when we go green, we pace for one more lap because we do caution laps don't count. So we pace for one more lap to make sure that scoring gets updated, make sure everyone's in the correct order, and then the leader fires off. And that was a game changer here tonight. I'm so glad that we implemented, that change here. And we did have a long talk with everyone in the league, and everyone knows to be on their P's and Q's. Much cleaner race, less beating and banging. And as far as the obvious stuff, but as far as the hard racing, this track put on a hell of a show tonight.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to get a couple things from you here and kind of get a quick fire off here. Langley Speedway next week, looking pretty good. I think everybody's going to be pretty excited about heading there. But also give me kind of your insight on the battle you saw happening in front of you between Brandon Jackson and Jonathan Platt.
It was a brilliant thing to watch. I mean, those two cars, those two guys, Jonathan, Brandon, excellent drivers. They both love this, short track stuff. And, like on the restart there, Brandon fired off. Platt sitting in a one, rolled the high side, and then just got the momentum off the top side. He was able to cross them up going into three, and somehow, I don't know how they were driving in so deep, it stuck on the bottom, past them, and that's why he's taking them to victory tonight. It was a great thing to watch.
Yeah, back-to-back was pretty tough out there, and I don't know how he did it. I mean, Brandon Jackson looked like he could not be stopped out there. I mean, yeah, we had a chat with Ricky Hart out there, and just trouble all over the track. Guys trying to make moves, and sometimes it's just not there. So go ahead and give me your shout-outs here, Kevin. Let's get you ready for Langley.
All right. Yes. Simtrax, thank you guys for stepping on board and broadcasting the season. Big shout out to everyone watching, especially my family, mom, love you, Missy, brother, sister, wife, whoever else is out there watching. Thank you guys. I'm just so glad that Perfect Shine Auto Spa came on board this season. They were they're lucky enough to be on the car, and I'm just thankful for my GFR teammates, and hopefully a couple more spots better next week.
All right, Kevin Foster, congratulations. Kelly Queel says hi, and make sure you go, you send her a message back and say hi. All right, buddy? Congratulations, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yep. All right, Kevin Foster is the man, the myth, the legend. He gets it done, starting the league back up and getting back going. Now, we missed this guy last week in the 91, but we sure as heck didn't miss him tonight. Holy cow, Brandon Jackson, 18 positions gained on the night. You were on fire. Talk to me about this race.
Man, our hauler, we got unloaded pretty late. We didn't even make qualifying, so we were kind of running blind for the first half of the race, trying to get a good idea on how the car was going to drive. And man, it came to me pretty easy, pretty quickly, and then a little bit, about 20-30 laps before the halfway break, I just decided, I was like, I need to start getting track position because it looked like it's hard to pass here once tires gets worn in pretty good. So I was able to drive up to, I think, like top 5, and then I knew coming out of the break I wanted to get the lead as quick as I could while also trying to save a little bit of the right front, which I kind of did. But, man, I was just rolling that high side to get through the field. I was the only person who could run the high side better than anybody. Really, everybody kind of just left it open. I just kept taking it. So, but it was fun. Me and Platt had our moments together. We had a few run-ins, but me and him are good. That's just hard late model racing on short tracks. You can't be too mad at each other, even though he dumped me on the yellow. But we'll throw that in the back burner for later. But it was fun.
Yeah, have no fear. That made the replay. I questioned it as well. We weren't sure when you head into the turn the little bump there to the back of the 43 got him a little squirrely. You slide underneath, and then under caution, he returns the favor politely without you hitting the inside wall. So, I mean, I'm assuming everything's good, but boy, if this is what we have to look forward to, I just got to try to imagine if you had qualified, where would this have put you?
Man, I would have been probably towards the front a lot more instead of trying to burn the right front off the first half of that run. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered because the stage break, but I think if I ran a little bit of practice, trying to understand where I can run the line and how I can save the right front instead of waiting about halfway through the race to figure it out. I think I would have been a lot better off, but kudos to Platt, man. Me and him, had a absolute dogfight. Can't be too mad at him. It was, I'm sure it was a good show for everybody to watch on the streams and on the broadcast. So, hey, it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. You can't win every battle.
Yep, 100%. So Langley's where we're going to head to next. Not sure if you're a full-time or part-time driver here, Brandon. Are we going to see you there?
You will not see the 91 there. 91 is going to be a part-time driver this season. We can't be running these late models every dang week, man. We don't have the budget for that, so we're part-timers. I don't know where we're at in 2 weeks, but the hauler will be there hopefully on time.
Myrtle Beach.
Oh hell.
See you, Langley, huh? Brandon, shout out time, brother.
Hey man, just shout out everybody that was watching on my stream. Everybody watching the broadcast. I hope me and Platt put on a good show for everybody. I'm pretty sure our pit crews were kind of going hand-to-hand combat halfway into the race, but we let them fight it out on the track, and then we let them fight it out on the pit roads. Hey, everybody's having a good time. We're all gonna go drink a beer, maybe. I don't know. I'm kind of pissed off, so you recommend the yellow. But anyway, that's all I got.
All right, well, we'll have recommend people tune into your stream to get the behind the wheel scene there, and tell a couple of them to come over here. I got a ton of Victor Weaver fans out here in the chat. We need some Brandon Jackson fighters out here. So go ahead and shoot them over here and tell them that 91's going to win it all the way. That'll get them fired up.
Hey, we're going all the way, baby. Part-time #1.
All right, Brandon Jackson, thanks, buddy.
See ya.
All right, everybody. Brandon Jackson. Wow. That dude had it, but he didn't have it all. Back-to-back wins here for Jonathan Platt. Welcome back to the Bandit Racing League, buddy. You are doing one heck of a job. Boy, what a handful it was this entire race with you and the 91. I thought it was going to be you, Nickerson, and Foster, but that seemed to not be the case.
Yeah, 100%. That first half we kind of just rode, and I was kind of just trying to ride that second half as well, and Brandon got into me. We talked about it. We actually laughed it off quite a bit. Got into me a little bit, got me pretty sideways, took the lead, and immediately a caution came out. So kind of messed me up there. And I went to go just show my displeasure by barely tapping him in the back, and he was gone. It just looped him. I didn't mean to do that. That wasn't nice of me, but I wasn't trying to do that, but I just tried to show my displeasure a little bit.
Yes. Well, I would say you were able to hold on to that car when he nudged you. We thought you were getting ready to head around. You saved it. Now, I think that kind of puts everybody in a little bit of perspective. You slinging around the turn at 70 miles an hour, able to contain it. He was under 35 and loops it. So, a couple of things happen out here at the track. But I would say, that it was the talk of the night. I mean, it really was. I thought things were going to go a lot differently, but you definitely pulled it out. I mean, with 2 wins, this has to be bringing you on an all-time high heading to Langley Speedway next week, that this one might be in the bag as well, and you're aiming for the trifecta.
Nah, I actually pretty much hate Langley. I'm excited for Myrtle Beach here in 2 weeks. It's kind of home to me. It's where I grew up racing, going to racetracks and learning to love this sport. So, I mean, I can't get over the race like before the stage there, me and Nick side by side. We put on a really good show there, and then the battle me and Brandon had, man, that was a complete dogfight. And there's a lot of guys you can't race with side by side and front to back. I mean, we hit each other twice, and then we just started laying doors to each other, and it was actually extremely fun. I thought this race was going to go pretty poorly, just based off Hickory, because this place is, as you can see, is kind of bottom fed a little bit, and I figured to be prone to accidents. But what a race tonight! That was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, cautions did clean up, so you got the green flag laps you desperately needed. Now, I would say if next week we could cut the cautions in half again, I think we'll be right in the sweet spot. You're going to have cautions no matter what. These cars are just so light in the back end. They're shovel-nosed in the front. I mean, there's just so much that can happen out here. But you guys made it happen. Now, I would have loved to have seen 80% of this race doing just that between you and Brandon, and even if Nickerson had been able to find a way to stick the nose in there and switch it up, send it 3 wide or something to come away with something crazy. I definitely think you guys are in the wheelhouse of making that happen. If there was anything that could have changed tonight, what would it have been?
I really would have liked to not miss that shift on a restart and kind of screw Nick over. I'd like to had him up there kind of beating doors with me, Brandon, and having him up there with Kevin. I wish that wouldn't have happened. But besides that, I don't really know if I would change too much. I feel like we had a really good product. We had quite a few green flag runs. I feel like it was a pretty well-rounded, good race. So, I mean, I'm pretty proud of that. I mean, it's a big turnaround from last week. Hickory's relatively really easy to drive. I mean, really smooth. It's a rough racetrack, but as far as it is, you're smooth with your lines and all that stuff. This place, you charge a corner, you can get free in. You can get turned around pretty fast here, and we cut the cautions. I mean, I think we had a quarter of the cautions, honestly. So I think as long as we're heading in this direction, it's the correct way, and I'm excited for this year. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I don't see how you guys, once that green flag comes out, how you don't immediately, floor it. You guys putt around one more lap to make sure the tower and the scoring's right, and then you go. As soon as I see that green flying, buddy, it's go. We got to make it happen. So, John, go ahead and give me a shout-out here, buddy, and let's get you ready for the next race.
So, what's on the car, Clearly Communications, Pull Down Motorsports, Caden Labs, Fitch Motorsports. Honestly, like to thank everybody with this league. They made a lot of adjustments this week, and they were all for the good. I kind of questioned some things they were doing. I didn't really talk about it too much with them, but everything that they did was absolutely perfect. Tonight we ran flawlessly. Shout out Nickerson and shout out Brandon Jackson. I think we put on a hell of a show. That was fun.
Yeah, I would say again. If we can do this next week, I won't be questioning my life choices here like I was last week. Jonathan, congratulations on yet another win, buddy. Hopefully we can see F43 bringing in victory lane again. I know I'll see it again. I just want to know if it's going to be next week. Congratulations, buddy. We'll see you then.
All right, thank you, man. See you later.
All right, Jonathan Platt, everybody, back to back wins at Hickory. Wins at Southern National. Langley's going to be the question. Can he get the trifecta here? He doesn't sound very confident, but I've seen guys do that. They don't feel confident. They don't feel very strong in the race. Things don't quite go their way, and then all of a sudden they show up, and these guys really bang the doors and make it happen. All right, awesome job. You guys really blew up the chat today. I love seeing it. Definitely keeping it to a minimum on wanting to fight each other, but we'll see if Victor Weaver can come out with any sort of a better outcome, finishing down there in the 17th, unfortunately. Stella, appreciate you joining in here a little bit later here tonight. And Kelly Queel. Definitely go ahead and give Foster a pat on the back. He did a heck of a job here tonight, and we'll definitely do a lot of changing here and a lot of moving around. Let me know what you guys think about the new layout. I think that it's looking pretty sharp. We got a few more kinks to work out. That's just because I'm picky, and we'll definitely get everything squared away. But that's going to do it for us here at Simtrax Broadcasting, bringing you the Bandit Racing League here on this fine Wednesday night. Be well, be safe, be kind. We'll see all you guys next time.